I watched an Alex Jones video, and that's not something that I have often done. It's probably the second Alex Jones video I've watched in its entirety over the course of my life. The first was a rant against the Young Turks, which I watched for obvious reasons, but in this Alex Jones video, I want to respond to what he said. So what I watched was him standing in a hotel room, being filmed by somebody on some sort of camcorder, and ranting about how through all of his secret connections that he has built up since he was about 6 years old, he has learned secret information that leads him to believe that every billionaire has fled from America and from Israel. They're all living on islands now, and that World War III is going to destroy the world by October. And he's very worried, and he's telling everyone watching his videos that they too should flee. Why hasn't he fled? And he believes that it is his duty to warn people and to continue to spread the message of how the world is going to end in less than 6 months. And I need to respond to this, because that video, as of when I watched it, it had only been up for a couple of weeks, had over 1 million views. So regardless of what else we might say about Alex Jones does have an audience. He does have people who will watch his videos. Many of his videos have over 1 million views. Many of them, much more of them, have 100,000 or 200,000 or even more. And that scares me, because it is utter fucking nonsense. Every word out of his mouth is more insane than the last, and if I was that cameraman, I would have either slowly backed out of the room or considered jumping out of the window, because that is a dangerous, scary, insane man who is saying this stuff. So, to reiterate some of the points from the video, he says every billionaire, and he might have said every millionaire as well, but definitely every billionaire has left America and Israel. He would not name a single example of this, could not name a single example of one billionaire that has moved out of America because of their fear that the government is going to fall inside of 6 months. But he felt confident to go on this video and assert that every single one of them has fled. And they all fled because they have secret information about how the economy is going to be destroyed or World War III is going to hit. He, for reasons I'm going to get into later on in this video, has to be very vague about exactly what the nature of this world-changing threat is. That they all have this shared information. And this is one of the threads that you're going to see that carries through most conspiracy theories. That there is an unrealistic amount of shared information that is supposedly at the same time ultra-secret and ultra-available to everyone that could benefit from it. And so all of the billionaires have the same information. Doesn't matter if they're billionaires through entertainment or business, Wall Street, healthcare, they make movies, it doesn't matter. They all have the same information and they've all fled. They have the same reaction to the information as well. And the reason that he says this is, well, I'm just a regular person. These rich people are so much more intelligent. If they've all made this decision, then I should too. That's why he's telling you this, because he wants you to simply follow the authority. He goes on to say that not only has he recently heard from independent billionaires that he knows, because he talks to billionaires all the time, even though he makes YouTube videos. I don't talk to billionaires, I don't think he talks to billionaires. He then said that he has had this information that he's been getting from people over the course of his life. In fact, as young as 6 years old, he was being told by people who are in the know that the government is in on all these conspiracies and they're going to take over the world. And then he goes on to give examples of the sorts of people who are giving him this information. And he didn't even have billionaires. He said people in government, like he specifically says a Dallas cop. A Dallas cop has information. And to him, that is a member of the government, someone in the quasi-military, someone in the executive branch, someone who should know this information. But you fucking moron, it's a Dallas cop. How the fuck would a Dallas cop know what the elites in DC are doing? Or what elites around the world are doing? There are cops all over the place. There are millions of cops in America. You think they all have information they all have access to classified information? That's simply because somebody is walking the beat in Dallas that they know that World War III is a-coming? And, by the way, that they then spread this information to 6-year-olds as they drink beer with his father. That is absolutely fucking insane. I hope that what actually happened is that he is simply lying about what happened when he was a kid, or he's misremembering what happened as he was a kid. Because if his father was actually bringing these sorts of psychopaths around him, then I actually have more sympathy for Alex Jones now. Because how else could someone's brain be so corrupted than to have been told when they were so easily influenced that everything in the world can be traced back to a big conspiracy theory that the wool is over our eyes and you need to talk to cops and they're the ones who are going to tell you what's going on. Look, there is a threat of war, obviously, at any time. We've had major wars. We've had world wars. Could there be some sort of military situation with Russia? Of course there could be some sort of military situation with Russia. Could it even happen in October? Probably not, but it could. But I guarantee that he isn't getting information about this from some fucking schmuck who runs a business in America. He doesn't know what Putin is doing, okay? He doesn't know when the world is going to end. And the reason that I want to talk about this, after having watched the Alex Jones video, is, one, how do you watch all these videos all the time? How do you subscribe to his channel and watch them over and over and over, and none of the predictions come true? Nothing that he says about the world is ever shown to be accurate, and yet you keep on watching. You remain as a subscriber despite the fact that he says the craziest everything is a false flag. No shooting has happened, no natural disaster has happened, nothing has happened that was not specifically set up by the government to fool you into believing some sort of narrative they want you to believe. Everything is designed by the government. There's no chance in this world. And then he makes predictions like this one, that the world is going to end in October, there's going to be World War III, and you're going to need to have fled to your private islands or you're going to die. And then October is going to come. You might be watching this video in October or after October of 2015. And is he going to apologize? Is he going to come and do another video standing in front of a camcorder in a hotel room and say, man, I got it wrong. Turns out there's no World War III, the government didn't take over shit. I was just wrong. Of course he's not gonna fucking do that. The best that we can hope for is that he comes and says, thankfully, I got the message out, and because millions of you listened to it, they decided they would postpone the apocalypse, but it's still gonna come, you still gotta stay vigilant, keep watching our videos, it's still gonna happen someday. More likely, he's not even going to reference the fact that he made that video. He's not even gonna remember that he made that video. And the individual subscribers, they too might have forgotten the specifics, but they are continuing to poison their mind by watching this absolute shit every day. When they could be watching, hell, I criticize the mainstream media all the time. At least if you watch the mainstream media, you're gonna get, a fairly status quo view of what's going on, a bias towards corporations view of what's going on, but you're gonna get some information about what's going on around the world. It'll be skewed in various ways, but you'll get actual information. Let alone going to good sources of news, which I'm not even going to try to get you to do that if you're watching Alex Jones. But you are just wasting your time. You could be watching documentaries, you could be reading books, you could be spending time with your kids. But instead, you are believing that lizard men control everything, that everything that happens in this world is designed and it's supposed to happen that way so that they can get money or power or whatever the fuck it is. These people deserve our sympathy. I acknowledge that on some level, but the fact that they're so willing to believe absolutely nonsense things without requiring any evidence, without ever checking back to see if the predictions that they believed in the past were actually true, how do you think that they're going to vote? How do you think that they're going to act? If shit actually did start to happen, how do you think that they're going to act then? It's a scary world, and I'm sure he's making a lot of money by making videos for that world, by appealing to that world and that worldview, but it is scary shit, and it should not get the level of support that it does. It's scary that that many people want to watch that absolute nonsense. Anyway, I watch an Alex Jones video so that you don't have to, but if you have watched them in the past, I would love to know what you think about it and why he has the level of support that he does. Leave it down below.